Hello everybody and welcome to this Verbling class. My name is Teacher Amy and today we're going to be looking at some of the kind of little but irritating problems that a lot of you have with grammar, just those things that everybody seems to stumble over or find particularly difficult or get wrong quite a lot in exams. Today we're going to be looking at three, well, depending on time, we'll see how we go, because I want to leave plenty of time open for discussion and questions from you guys, but we're going to be looking at the difference between a lot of and many or much today. And then we'll be talking about the two verbs say and tell, and what's the difference between them. And if we have time, still, yet, and already. Those three confusing words that often get muddled up. So do come along in if you would like to just have a bit of a practice of some of those grammar points. And also anything else you're welcome to ask me about today, if something on the topic of confusing grammar. If we don't have time to look at it today in class, then we'll see what I can do for you later on. And I might do my next class on that. So I'm hoping to do a bit of a series on some particularly tricky grammar points, which I've called Getting a Grip on Grammar Gripes. So welcome to the class, everybody. It's lovely to see you. I hope you've all had a good weekend. Before we get started, I just want to point out that there are two handy little pages that you can go to while you're, well, in between classes or when you've got some spare time. The first one that you'll see in the chat box is my Facebook page, which you can go to just to kind of hang out, really, connect up, chat, see resources or share resources. And the second of the two is my Verbling teacher page, and that is the best one to go to if you want to find out some more information about Verbling. So if you're watching this class from somewhere else, if you found it on YouTube or any of the other places where this video is shown, which is actually quite a few, you can go to verbling.com or click on the link that you'll see in the chat box, and you can find out more information about teachers, who we are, how to join Verbling, when the classes are coming up, the sessions that are available for private tutoring, and you can also get in touch with us via the messaging feature if you have any questions. So, welcome everybody. Let's say hello and see who we've got today to talk about these grammar stuff. This grammar stuff. I should actually speak properly being an English teacher, shouldn't I? So let's see. Who have we got? Alejandro. Welcome and nice to meet you.
Hello, teacher.
Hello. I don't think I've met you before, have I? Have we met before?
I can't remember.
I can't remember either, Alejandro. So make me feel better. All right. Well, if neither of us can remember, we'll say nice to meet you again.
Thank you.
Where are you from?
I'm from Spain.
You're from Spain. Which part of Spain?
Barcelona. I live in Barcelona.
Very nice. You lucky person. How's the weather? Is it a nice summer?
It's summer. Yes, it's too hot.
It's too hot. Okay, fair enough. What's the temperature?
35 grades
Degrees Celsius.
Degrees
Celsius. Yeah. Wow, 35 is pretty hot. Well, have you been to the beach? Do you like the beach?
Yes, I live near the beach. I go to the beach every day.
Oh, that sounds beautiful, Alejandro. And tell me, why are you studying English? For any particular reason?
I want to speak and understand English because 20 years ago I began to learn, and now I can speak. I can speak.
Right. So you're trying to improve and catch up on what you feel you should know by now. That's a great reason.
Well, thank you.
All right, well, lovely to meet you again, possibly, and welcome to the class. I'll say hello to Aloisa.
Yes, Eloisa, that's correct. Hello.
Nice to meet you, Aloisa. Where are you from?
I'm from the Netherlands, and I think we have never met before.
I'm sure we haven't, because I would remember your name. I've never heard it before. It's very pretty.
Thank you.
So, Aloisa, how come you're learning English? Tell me a bit.
I use English for my work, and I like to practice and to get a bit better.
Excellent. And I've always found the Netherlands just, I don't know how Dutch people manage to do this, but they just seem to be born already knowing really good English. How do you guys learn it so well?
Well, in all the Dutch schools we learn 3 foreign languages, so I think that helps. From childhood on, we can practice.
Yeah. Oh, that's so great. That's something I would love about living in the Netherlands. Well, welcome to the class, Aloisa.
Thank you. Thank you.
Oh, who else do we have? We have Herman.
Yes, teacher.
Hello, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
Excellent. And how's your studying going?
I am coming up. I practice my English every day because it's vacation now.
Mm-hmm.
So I just took another classes from Berlin.
Excellent.
Yes.
So
This is my second time here with you.
I remember Herman. It's good to have you back.
Okay, thank you.
Welcome, and it sounds like you're using your holidays well if you're studying every day.
Yes, I do.
All right, congratulations. That's very good news. Hello to Jose Ernesto.
Hi, how are you?
Hello, Jose. I don't remember if I've met you before. I can't see anything on your picture.
No, it's my first class.
Ah, well, there you go. I feel better. Nice to meet you in that case. Where are you from?
From El Salvador.
From where?
El Salvador.
El Salvador. Awesome. I've
Yeah.
never had a student from there before. Where do you live in El Salvador? In the city? In the country?
Yeah, in the city, in the capital, in El Salvador.
Wow. And are you having, you must be in, I'm not sure whether you're in the southern or northern hemisphere. Are you in summer or winter, or do you just always have good weather?
No, in summer.
Is it hot?
Yeah, very hot. It's about 34 degrees.
Nearly as hot as Barcelona. All right, well, it's lovely to meet you. And how come you're studying English, Jose? What's your goal?
Sorry, I can listen.
Why are you studying English? For what reason?
For work, because I need to have to improve my speaking, because I understand that I don't speak friendly.
You sound very friendly, but maybe you need to speak a bit more fluently, yeah?
Yeah, fluently, sorry.
That's okay. All right, well, it's lovely to meet you, Jose. Welcome to the class.
Thank you.
And Raphael, hello.
Hello, Amy.
How are you? Did you have a good weekend?
Yes, I have a good weekend.
What did you do?
Nothing special. Just stay home, studying a little bit, and taking a rest. That's it, because it's cold here. It's not. It's winter, so there is no much to do.
Yeah, join the club, Raphael. Same here.
Yes. High five.
Woo! Winter. Ooh. All right. Well, I did the same as you, Raphael. Nothing much this weekend. So, because of the bad weather, and today it's beautifully sunny and I'm at work. Great. Okay. Anyway, that's life, isn't it? So, I'll say also hello to Dom with a beautiful sunset, or is that a sunrise?
Yes. Hi, Amy.
Hello. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. Yes.
Is that a picture of...
Yes, it's the picture in the sunset in the sea, and it's more like the where I'm living.
Where are you living, Dom?
Yes. It's I'm from Italy, and especially I'm in the place near the sea. That's so. The sunset is this kind of sunset is very common in my place, I think.
Wow, you lucky thing! It's beautiful.
Thank you. So this is my first class. I think in that class in Verbling. Not my first class in Verbling, but my first class here.
With me?
Yes, with you.
Well, it's great to meet you, Dom, and welcome. And guys, today the topic of our class is kind of grammar, okay? Now, I know grammar can be a bit boring, but one of my passions as an English teacher is really to try to help my students to speak like a native speaker. What often happens with English, and I think this has a lot to do with the textbooks that we use and the fact that a lot of people don't really have access to a lot of conversation practice with native speakers, which is one of the reasons I love Verbling. Sometimes these little problems tend to come out which show you up as a non-native speaker. Despite your accent, there are some people who've really nailed English, and it's such a pleasure listening to them talk. And I think for them it's a lot more satisfying. So this little series of classes is going to be on some little grammar things which are not difficult. They're just perhaps occasionally overlooked or maybe not focused on in English. And we're going to start off with probably my pet hate of all. And that's the difference between using the words a lot of or lots of and much or many. So what we're going to do is we're going to read a little article about it first of all to introduce it. Then we're going to move on to the verbs say and tell, and if we have enough time, we'll finish off with the still, yet, already problem. So I just want to make sure that you guys feel like you can ask me things, and this is a very informal grammar lesson, okay? So we're just going to talk about these problems. I'm going to give you a few practice exercises to get the hang of it. But do feel free to butt in or ask me if you don't understand what's going on, so that we're all following and we can get something out of this. So I'm going to give you the link there. Click on this. I'll share my screen with you so that you can see what we're doing. If you just prefer, you can follow along with me. And we're going to read, first of all. Alright, so who shall I ask to read? I think I'm going to ask Alejandro, if you can please read the title and then the first paragraph here.
Okay. Grammar grapes. Oh. Okay. Grammar grapes. A lot of, lots of versus much many. When students first start learning to navigate the swirling waters of the English language, one of the common things they do is to
misuse
or overuse the words much and many. It might surprise you to learn that these words are actually used by native speakers fairly infrequently in speaking, and really only in specific circumstances. If you'd like your English to sound like a peaceful pan flute instead of a crashing cymbal to the ears of a native speakers, read on.
Thank you, Alejandro. Well done. Great reading. Great reading. So this word here is misuse, okay? Means to use wrongly, right? Okay, I'll just say hello to Joseph, who's joined us in the last couple of minutes. Hey, Joseph. No, perhaps not. Okay, that's all right. Welcome, Joseph, if you are there. Okay, so this is something that lots and lots of students get confused between. And actually, we're going to read on about it. It's quite easy to remember in which scenarios you can use the words much and many. Now, what I do want to point out is this is when we're talking about speaking English. When you're talking about writing or reading, it's a slightly different story, and the words much and many can be used more often. But really, when you're speaking, they are only used in really, really specific circumstances, and they're not too difficult to remember, so we're going to try and accomplish that today. So we'll carry on reading, and if Aloisa, could you please read just from here, please?
Okay, so what do we say? Instead of the words much and many, native speakers will use the phrases a lot of or lots of. The handy thing about this is that these phrases can be used interchangeably, which saves you the worry of always needing to know if the noun you're using afterwards is countable or uncountable. Not so if you decide to use much or many. For example, you can say lots of chocolates, a lot of cream, lots of sugar, a lot of icing, uncountable nouns. Or lots of sprinkles, a lot of chocolate chips, lots of cherries, a lot of caramel pieces, plural countable nouns.
Excellent. Beautiful. Thank you, Aloisa. Lovely reading. Okay, so, right, I just want to check that we all know the difference between countable and uncountable nouns. So this is one of those irritating things about English that you just sort of have to learn. Can someone have a look at what we've just read? Can anyone try to explain to me what is a countable noun and what is an uncountable noun? Anyone want to have a go?
I know.
Yes, please, Aloisa.
When you're talking about, for example, an apple, you can count apples, so that's a countable noun. And when you talk about milk, that's something you cannot count. It's only countable when you add something to it, like a bottle of milk. With the milk itself, you cannot count.
Absolutely, that's a beautiful explanation. Thank you. Yes?
Sorry. I think it's also for uncountable is for some abstract, not real. Like time is not. I think no, maybe I have to confuse. No, sorry.
No, you're absolutely right. That's right, Dom. To add a little bit of extra, you're correct. Yeah, time or.
Yes, or no, weather. I don't know if weather is something.
Feelings.
Water.
Water, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, water, yes. But
sorry, Raphael. Yeah, go ahead, Dom.
No, some abstract. I thought like time. I have no time. How much time? Time is. I think it's uncountable. But I think also the weeks is countable. 3 weeks, 2 weeks. It depends.
Yes, that's correct. So that's a little bit similar to the example that Aloisa gave about milk and a bottle of milk, right? It's sort of the same idea. Time as a concept is uncountable, but if you split it up into little pieces, then you can count those things like weeks or minutes. Just like you
Yes.
can count the bottles of milk, absolutely. And Raphael, you just mentioned something else?
Feelings.
Yeah, absolutely. Can you give me an example?
Love, pain, passion. What else?
Perfect. That's enough.
Envy.
Yeah. So all of those feelings are sort of also a bit like concepts, and yes, they're also uncountable. So this becomes important when you want to use the words much or many. That's why we're covering it. However, the really great thing about the fact that native speakers are always using these two phrases here is that you don't actually have to know. So you can leave out that little grammar point. You can say a lot of or lots of for anything you like. So obviously the problem is that you do need to know whether the noun is countable or uncountable when you need to know whether to put an S on it or not. But it's quite easy to remember these two little phrases, a lot of or lots of. So just to have a bit of a participation, I'm going to type in, there we go, I've typed in countable nouns into the chat box. Can everyone go ahead, I'll give you 20 seconds to type in a countable noun or two into the chat box. Just so that we can get a bit of... Hello?
Can you hear me?
Yes, Joseph, welcome.
Hi, Amy. I had some problems with my mic.
All right, no worries.
I couldn't talk.
We were wondering where you were, Joseph. So welcome. I'm glad you're here.
Thank you, Amy.
All right, so we're just going to go ahead and have a mini little brainstorm, guys. If you could type some countable nouns into the chat box now, I'll give you 20 seconds.
Uncountable.
Countable, underneath what I've just typed. Countable nouns. Ten seconds. And stop. Excellent, guys. Well done. Perfect. We're going to use those later on, possibly. Alright, now it's time to do uncountable nouns, which is sometimes a little bit trickier. So off you go. Uncountable nouns. You've got 20 seconds. Excellent. Alright, guys. Well done. So let me just make a couple of corrections there, just in spelling. Okay. Good work. Did you write beans, Raphael? Excellent. Well done, guys. Some good ones there. So that's going to provide us with some interesting sentences a little bit later. What we're going to do is continue to read, because we need to now find out about much and many. So just a reminder that you can use the phrases a lot of or lots of with any of those words that we've just typed into the chat box. Okay, so thank you for reading, Aloisa and Alejandro. And Dom, it's your turn to read from here, please. Whoopsie daisy, from here. Are you there, Dom? Don't forget you've got to unmute your microphone.
Ah, sorry. Yes,
That's okay.
Yes, it hit. Yes, it's opposite of cold. Is correct.
Yes, heat is the opposite of cold. Correct.
Yes,
Hot is actually the adjective.
I write wrong. I write wrong.
No problem. Yes. No problem. That's what a class is for. Could you read for us, please, Dom, from the Much and Many Lowdown?
To ask, sorry. I don't understand the first question.
Could you? I just would like you to read. Yes, please.
Ah, okay. Any phrases write in chat box?
No, just what we've got on the screen. From it says the much and many
Sorry. Now I understand. I'm a little bit confused. Okay, the much and many lowdown. So when do we use the words much and many? Well, first, let's talk about the choice between the two. Much used with uncountable nouns. Many is used with uncountable nouns. In everyday spoken English, much and many are only used in the following specific circumstances.
Dum 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 dum. All right, thank you, Dom. I'll get now Jose to read this one here, please.
Okay, how many chocolate chips did you just put in your mouth when you thought it wasn't looking? Chocolate chips countable, so in really they are actually rather difficult to count. How much weight are you going to put on if you eat this cake we're making? Weight, uncountable, arguable. I don't know what is that letter. Arguable.
This one says arguably, Jose.
Arguably.
Yeah, so this is just a little bit of a joke because I find grammar can be a bit, serious. So the first point basically, we've got three places where much and many are used in speaking. One is questions, so you can use them in questions freely. And the questions they give us here are: how many chocolate chips did you just put in your mouth when you thought I wasn't looking? And chocolate chips are countable. You can count them, although it takes a long time. So you can say many. And then this one, we're talking about weight. That's uncountable, so we say how much weight. Even though when we measure our weight, we actually do count it in kilograms or whatever. That's exactly the same as the milk and the bottles example that we talked about before. So questions is fine, guys. When we're asking questions, you can use much and many whenever you like. Number 2, I will ask Joseph to read negative clauses.
I didn't put that many chocolate chips in my mouth, only about 45. I haven't lost much weight in the last week because I keep eating chocolate chips.
Excellent. All right, so Joseph, good reading here. This is negative clauses, and basically, guys, that's just something which has some kind of a negative part in the word. So I did not, I have not. If we use a negative word, then we can use much or many. So I didn't put that many chocolate chips in my mouth, or I haven't lost much weight. Okay, the third example is with these 3 little words here. And Raphael, could you read it for us, please?
With so, to, and as. So many chocolate chips have jumped into my mouth that I've run out. I'll have to go to the supermarket. There is no such thing as too many chocolate chips, if you ask me. You haven't eaten as much as me. Aren't you hungry? No. You have no idea how many chocolate chips I ate earlier.
Excellent. Thank you, Raphael. So you can see, guys, that with these 3 words, you can use many or much. So that's just something you guys will have to remember. If you've got these 3 words here, so, to, and as, then you can use much or many. I just want to talk about the word to, because this can also causes quite a bit of confusion. Can somebody explain to me what this sentence actually means? There is no such thing as too many chocolate chips, if you ask me. What does that mean? Anybody know, or anybody want to take a guess at part of it?
The person who was saying that is because really like chocolate.
Exactly right. Well done, Helaman. That's totally right. So I try to this try to use a lot of like colloquial sort of slang or very common phrases that can be a bit confusing. So there's no such thing as something. What does that mean? There's no such thing as blah blah blah. Can anyone explain it or give me like another way of saying that?
There is not such a thing as when you stand up in the morning and look at your window and look the sun rising up.
Okay, so what does "there's no such thing as" mean then, Henneman? Can you tell me in other words what does it mean?
Okay, there is not a thing.
Yeah, but basically, yeah, it's kind of self-explanatory, but it comes across a little bit difficult to work out. It just means that something doesn't exist, right?
Yes.
But we usually use it when we're talking about something in a light way. So there's no such thing as studying too much, right? Or there's no such thing as eating too much cake. It's kind of a joke. You can eat too much cake, but it's like a light way of kind of proving your point. So too many, obviously that's clear. What do we mean if we say "if you ask me"?
Preference.
Yeah, it's like saying your opinion. So you can start your sentence with that as well. If you ask me, Verbling is the best place to study English. I'd agree with that. No. All right. So it's talking about your opinion in a kind of informal way. So it's another choice that you might want instead of saying "in my opinion," or you can say "if you ask me, I think this." Okay. If you say "to," this TOO. Can somebody try to tell me what does that actually mean? Because a lot of students get confused between "so many" and "too many." What's the difference between "so many" and "too many"? Anyone know?
It's the same.
I think "to" is much. It's meaning like much. It's very a lot of. I think.
Yes.
"To" is the meaning. I don't know what is the other. I think it's seems like much, very, very much. It's great amount of.
Okay. Yeah.
Anyway,
Yes, Raphael.
I don't know. I'm just a guest. It's about the position in statements. So many is the beginning of the statement, and too many it's in the middle of the statement where both have the same meaning, or no?
Actually, no. That's a good point to bring up, though, Raphael. It doesn't actually make any difference where they are in the sentence. In actual fact, they have a slightly different meaning. And Dom, you're right. This one does mean "so" means a great amount of something.
Yes.
But it doesn't have any other meanings. It just means a great amount. So it's sort of like saying, "Oh my gosh, so many people were at the supermarket." You're just saying a really, really, really big amount of people, a large amount of people, loads of people. And it kind of emphasizes the fact that the number of people is what you're talking about.
Yes.
If you, however, use the word "to," it has a connotation which means that you've overdone something. So, for example, you've overdone something and you have some kind of a negative consequence as a result, like too much.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, I thought like I can do that. It's too much for me. It's too many for me.
Exactly. Yeah. So it sort of signifies the limit of something, right? You've exceeded the limit of something.
Yes.
Whereas "so much" doesn't have that. It just means a lot of. So if you say, for example, too much alcohol is bad for you, if you surpass the limit of the alcohol that you should consume, then there's bad effects, right? You're going to get drunk, or you're going to go to hospital, or feel
Yes,
sick.
it's more than
Yeah?
our resources. It's more than
Yeah.
our resources.
Yeah, absolutely. Something along those lines. Or too much chocolate will make you sick. So what you're saying is that there's a limit to the amount of chocolate you can eat.
Yes.
And in this example, the person is saying, actually, I don't think that's true. You can never eat too many chocolate chips. But it's not really true, is it? Because you could eat too many and then you would be sick. All right, so we'll just finish off reading this part. So who is it time to read? It's Alejandro. Can you read again, please? This last bit here.
Yes. Speaking or writing. Now don't get me wrong. You will see the words much and many used outside the instances listed above, but generally only in written texts, because a lot of students tend to study primarily from books and writing resources. They may be exposed to the use of much and many a lot of more frequently, giving them the false idea that it is used just as much in spoken English.
Keep going, Alejandro.
So, do you think you have got the hang of when to avoid using the words much and many? Or did we just make you hungry?
Thank you. That's fine, Alejandro. I just want to point out this one. To get the hang of something, what does that mean, guys? Anyone know?
To have got the hang.
Yeah. So I've typed it in the chat box. The infinitive is to get the hang of something. Does anyone have any idea what that means?
To understand?
Yeah. To become used to it, to understand, to figure something out, something like that. Exactly. So if you get the hang of something, it means you kind of learn how to do it. And I hope you guys have. So what we're going to do is I'll put this down here and zoom out a bit so you can see. Feel free to load it up in your own window if you want to reference it. But I would like you all to come up with a sentence for me using something that we've talked about so far today. So either a lot of, or lots of, or much, or many, using any of those examples. So I'm going to ask Raphael to go first. Can you come up with a great sentence for me, please, Raphael?
Using one of these words?
Yep.
I did a lot of exercises today.
Excellent. Perfect. All right, who wants to go next? Jose, your turn.
With sentences of many and much.
Yep, or a lot of, or lots of.
Okay.
You choose.
You know how much I love you. I think about it every day.
Thank you. Great. Herman.
Okay. Countable, it can be how much sugar do you want on your coffee?
Excellent. Yep, well done. I don't take sugar in my coffee, thanks, Herman.
Yes, because
So
you're
none.
in England.
Actually, yeah, I don't take sugar in my tea either. I just don't like sugary drinks. But thank you for offering. Very kind of you.
Okay.
Dom, your turn.
Okay. Many people were present in that meeting. I don't know.
Okay.
Many people.
Right, so this is a really good example of what you could perhaps read in the newspaper. However, what we've been talking about is the fact that usually when we're speaking, we don't use the word many unless we have one of these three things here: a question, a negative clause, or with so, to, or as. So in that sentence, none of those apply, right, Dom? Because you just said many people. It wasn't a question, it wasn't a negative clause. And you didn't have any of these words. So therefore, it would be better to say a lot of people or lots of people. Yeah?
Okay. Yes, I think. Yes.
So thank you for that.
Thank you.
It was a
Yes.
perfect example to sum up what we've just been saying. So excellent, thank you. So we're changing it to lots of people, okay?
Okay. Thank you too to solve my mistakes.
No problem.
Okay.
Alejandro, your turn.
I have to give you an example.
Yes, please. Anything you like, just using one of those words. Much, many, lots of, or a lot of.
I don't have a lot of money.
Neither do I. No. Thank you, Alejandro. That's perfect. You could also say I don't have much money because you just used a negative clause, right? I don't have. So that's another option for you, all right? I don't have a lot of money or I don't have much money. All right, guys, well done. Does anyone have any questions about that before we move on to the next topic? Oh, if you do have any, you can ask me before the end of class, sorry. What we're going to talk about now is actually the two words say and tell. Okay? So, would anyone like does anyone know what the difference between these two is before we start?
When we say something, we don't need an object.
Very
and
good.
When you tell something, it requires an object. You have to tell something to someone.
Absolutely, that's perfect, Raphael. Thank you. So when you explain it like that, sometimes the grammar is a little bit tricky to figure out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you two sentences in the chat box, and I want you to tell me which one is correct, okay? Just a second. So the sentence number 1 and sentence number 2. Whoops, Raphael, sorry, you suddenly became a girl. That's supposed to be he. So we'll get that right in the second sentence. Okay, 1 or 2, which one's correct? Apart from the fact that Raphael's had a sex change in between the two examples. Sorry. Who would like to tell me, is number 1 correct or is number 2 correct?
Teacher, I can see the sentence.
Yeah, do I.
Okay, well that's a bit of a problem. Let me see what I can do. Thank you for telling me, guys. I'll paste it into a document and do a screen share instead. Sometimes it's not that great using the chat box. Just a moment, sorry. And there we go. I can correct poor Raphael's problem now anyway. All right, make it bigger. And see if we can do a screen share. There we go. Alright, can you see that, guys?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so have a read and let me know if you think number 1 or number 2 is correct.
Number 1, I think is the correct.
What do the rest of you think?
The number 2, you write 2 times 8.
I did. Aren't I doing great today, guys? There you go. Alright, so Dom, you think number 1's correct, yeah?
No. I think no.
Let me I think that the two is the correct.
Yes, I think too.
Okay, so Jose thinks 1, Dom thinks 2, Germán, what do you think?
Number 2 is the correct one.
Okay, Alejandro?
Number 1 is incorrect.
Rafael?
Number 1 is correct.
All right. I'm going to give you the other option. This is using the verb say, okay? And now we're going to use the verb tell, just to give you the comparison. So, let's number them differently. Which one's correct out of 3 and 4? What do you think, Rafael?
Number 4.
Okay. And Jose?
Number 4 for me is the correct.
Okay. Germán?
Number where he was going. Number 3 is correct.
Okay. Dom?
Number 4 for me too.
And Alejandro?
Number 4 is correct.
All right. Right, so guys, this is, well done. This is actually a correct one here because it has an object. And as Rafael just mentioned, if we use the verb to tell, we have to have an object straight after it. You have to tell somebody something. You can't just tell something, okay? This one is correct because it doesn't have an object, and when you use the verb to say, you don't follow it with an object. So we just say something. So have a look carefully at those.
Excuse me, teacher.
Yes.
And number 1, Rafael, is he or she?
Yes.
Yeah.
I note.
Sorry guys, I'm just doing that on purpose to try and catch you out. No, actually I'm not. I'm just having a bad typing day. Sorry.
No, it's
All
not
right,
a
there you
problem.
go. So thank you for pointing that out. There we go. You can see the correct ones on there. Now I just want to add something in. If you do want to talk about a person and use the verb say, you can do that, but you need to use the word to after it. So what we could do is correct this and say, for example, I invited Rafael, can't spell your name, but he said to me that he was busy. And you can, that's correct. So it just means that you need to use the word to here. Then there are a couple of other points here. We don't use the word to, so we don't say he left without telling to me where he was going. That's incorrect. But there are some times where we use tell in a set phrase without a personal object. So let me give you an example. You can tell a lie. Can anyone think of any other set phrases that use the word tell?
Tell a secret.
Yes. And the opposite to tell a lie, which would be?
Tell the truth.
Yeah. Tell the truth. Also, what about when you want to make people laugh? You can tell
A joke.
yeah. And if you're babysitting and you want to put the children to bed, before you put them to bed, you tell
A sweet. No, I can't remember.
tell a story. Tell a story. Yeah. And you can also tell the time, right?
Yes.
So apart from these ones here, we don't use the word to. So just take a look at that for a second and check that you understand it. And we're going to do some exercises. Well, a couple of little exercises, and you can tell me whether we need to say or tell. So I'm going to write them down here, and we'll have a little go. So I just get rid of that. Get some more space. Just have a think about them. I'll ask you in a minute. Better number them. All right, we'll do the first 4. Who would like to do number 1?
She tells.
Okay, so let's first of all just look at the sentence really carefully before you answer. So firstly, we've got a past tense verb. So this has to be in the past tense, okay? The second thing we need to look out for is that we've got a to, right? So we need to figure out which verb to use with to. Is it say or tell?
Say.
Right. So what should this sentence be?
She said to me that she...
Absolutely. Well done. She said to me that she just lost her job. If you wanted to say the same sentence but with tell, what could you say?
She told me.
Yep, very good. That she just lost her job. Well done. We've got 2 twos, so the second of 2 twos. What about this one?
Say.
Very good. Why is it say?
Why don't they say something instead of just standing here?
Absolutely. Because they're not saying it to anybody, they're just saying it, right?
Yes. Yes.
Excellent. What about number 3?
Oh,
Tells me.
Telling.
Okay. Very good. Yes, it's actually telling. ing. Because we've got the word here, always, and we've got this other indicator, is. Correct, because we've got the object here, so we know we need to use tell, and because we've got is always, we know it's in ing. And last one, yeah?
And saying to me?
Is always saying to me. Yes, but you can't really use the word how after that, so you'd have to change it to Carl is always saying to me he works really hard. So it works better with tell. And last one is number 4.
Tells.
This is not true, of course, Raphael. All right, excellent. Okay, does anyone have any questions about that? So we've covered 2 of the grammar points today. I'll have to swap the next one to next class. But I think you guys are doing really well. You seem to have caught on to that excellently. So why don't you go to Facebook if you have time, write me another sentence using say or tell, or write me another sentence using a lot of, lots of, much, or many, and I'll check to see if you've understood. But well done. Does anyone have any questions about it? Anything we've done today?
No.
Well, congratulations, guys. You've just been initiated into the native speaker level speaking. For those particular grammar points, anyway. It was lovely to have you, and it was lovely to meet you if I haven't met you before. If you would like to practice your reading, come along to my next class, which is in just a moment, which is on the most important hour of your life. But if not, have a great evening, take care, and I hope to see you all soon.
Thank you, Amy.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
bye-bye.